I, 30F, never thought I would be in this situation. I've been married to Henry, 34M, for 6 years, and until now, we had what I thought was a perfect marriage. We met in college through mutual friends, dated for 2 years, and got married right after graduation. His family welcomed me with open arms, especially his younger brother Nathan, 32M, and Nathan's then girlfriend, now wife, Lily, 28F. Lily and I clicked instantly. Despite being different in many ways, she's outgoing and social while I'm more reserved. We became best friends. When she and Nathan got married 3 years ago, I was her maid of honor. We've been inseparable since then, always supporting each other through thick and thin. We even started a tradition of weekly sister lunches where we would catch up on everything happening in our lives. Henry and Nathan have always been extremely close. They work at different companies but meet almost every day for lunch or after work. Their parents raised them to believe that family comes before everything else, and both brothers took this lesson to heart. Our family spent every holiday together, had weekly Sunday dinners at the in-laws' house, and celebrated every small achievement as one big family. 8 months ago, Lily lost her job during a massive layoff at her company. She was devastated. She had worked there for 5 years and had just been promoted to a senior position. The timing couldn't have been worse because she and Nathan had just bought a new house and taken on a significant mortgage. The stress was clearly affecting their marriage, and Lily was becoming increasingly depressed. That's when I thought I could help. Before my current job, I worked at Stevens & Global, a prestigious marketing firm. The CEO, Mark Anderson, 45M, was my direct boss for 3 years. We had a great professional relationship, and even after I left for better opportunities, we maintained cordial contact. When I heard they were hiring for a position that matched Lily's qualifications, I didn't hesitate to recommend her. Mark trusted my judgment. I had always been one of his top performers, and hired Lily after just 2 interviews. Everyone was thrilled. Nathan was relieved because their financial strain would ease, my in-laws were proud of how I had helped family, and Henry was happy to see his brother less stressed. Lily was over the moon and kept thanking me for helping her land such a prestigious job. The first few months were great. Lily excelled at her role, and Mark often praised my recommendation. She would tell me during our lunch dates how much she loved the work environment and the challenges of her new position. Nathan seemed happy too, often mentioning how Lily's mood had improved and their relationship was better than ever. Things started changing about 3 months ago. Lily began canceling our lunch dates, citing work commitments. She was staying late at the office almost every day, attending numerous business dinners, and traveling frequently for client meetings. At first, I didn't think much of it. I remembered how demanding the job could be, especially in the beginning. Nathan started complaining to Henry about Lily's absence. He said she was always too tired to spend time with him, constantly on her phone, and emotionally distant. During family dinners, I noticed they barely spoke to each other. When I tried asking Lily about it, she brushed it off as work pressure and said everything was fine. 2 weeks ago, our whole world turned upside down. It was during our regular Sunday dinner at the in-laws' house. Lily arrived late, which was unusual because she was always punctual for family events. She looked nervous but determined. Without any warning, she announced that she was leaving Nathan. The shock hadn't even registered when she dropped the second bomb. She was 2 months pregnant with Mark's baby and they were in love. The chaos that followed was unimaginable. Nathan collapsed into a chair, looking like he'd been punched. My mother-in-law started crying hysterically while my father-in-law demanded explanations. Henry just stood there, stunned into silence. Lily tried to explain that it wasn't planned, that she and Mark had grown close over time, and that she couldn't deny her feelings anymore. That's when everything turned on me. My mother-in-law suddenly screamed that this was all my fault. If I hadn't helped Lily get that job, none of this would have happened. My father-in-law joined in, saying I should have known better than to send a married woman to work under a rich, single man. Even Nathan, who had never raised his voice at me before, accused me of ruining his life by helping his wife find the man she would leave him for. The worst part was Henry's reaction. Instead of defending me, he just stood there while his family attacked me. Later that night, he said they had a point. I was the one who introduced Lily to Mark, so I was partly responsible for destroying his brother's marriage. When I tried to argue that Lily and Mark were adults who made their own choices, he got angry and moved to the guest room. He's been sleeping there for the past 2 weeks. The situation has only gotten worse since then. Henry barely speaks to me unless it's to ask when I'm going to fix this mess. His parents call multiple times daily, leaving increasingly angry voicemails about how I destroyed their perfect family. They've even started posting subtle digs on social media about fake friends who destroy marriages. Some of our mutual friends have taken sides, with many suggesting I must have known what would happen. Yesterday, Henry delivered his ultimatum. Either I convinced Lily to leave Mark and return to Nathan, or he'll leave me. He says since I created this problem, I need to solve it. When I tried explaining that I can't control other people's actions, he said I wasn't trying hard enough because I secretly approved of what Lily did. I tried talking to Lily. She's living in Mark's penthouse apartment now and seems happier than I've ever seen her. When I brought up the family's reactions and Henry's ultimatum, she was sympathetic but firm. She said she's not going back to Nathan, that her relationship with Mark isn't some passing affair, and that she's excited about their baby. She also told me not to let the family blame me for her choices. I'm at my breaking point. My marriage is falling apart because of something I had no control over. I'm being blamed for decisions made by two consenting adults just because I helped someone I considered a sister get a job when she needed one. Henry won't even consider my side of things, and his family has made me into some sort of villain who deliberately set out to destroy their son's marriage. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Update 1: Things have gotten even more complicated, and what I just discovered has turned this whole situation on its head. Yesterday, I met with Rachel, who works in the accounting department at Nathan's company. We've known each other for a few years through company events, and she's always been friendly. She asked to meet for coffee, saying she had something important to tell me. I almost didn't go because I've been avoiding social interactions lately. Henry's family has been spreading their version of events around our social circle, and I'm tired of defending myself. But something in Rachel's voice made me agree to meet her. What she told me over coffee changed everything. Nathan, the supposedly heartbroken victim in this situation, has been having an affair with their colleague Sarah, 29, for over a year. Sarah works in the sales department, and according to Rachel, their affair has been an open secret at the office. Everyone knew except Lily and the family. As Rachel shared more details, pieces of the puzzle started falling into place. About 6 months ago, Lily had mentioned finding strange texts on Nathan's phone from someone saved as S project. When she asked him about it, he convinced her they were work-related messages about a secret project he was handling. She had also noticed him working late frequently and going on weekend business trips that seemed unnecessary for his role. Rachel showed me photos from their office Christmas party where Nathan and Sarah were clearly more than colleagues. She also told me about how they would take long lunches together and return looking disheveled, how they barely tried to hide their relationship at work events, and how Sarah would openly talk about waiting for Nathan to leave Lily. After meeting Rachel, I drove straight to Nathan's office. I needed to hear his side before doing anything else. When I confronted him in the parking lot after work, he initially tried to deny everything. But when I showed him the photos Rachel had sent me, he broke down. He admitted that his relationship with Sarah started as friendship but turned romantic about a year ago. They grew close during a project they worked on together, and one late night at the office led to another, and before he knew it, they were having a full-blown affair. He claimed he was going to end it several times but could never find the right moment. He said he still loved Lily but had gotten caught up in the excitement of the affair. The irony of the situation is almost laughable. While everyone has been blaming me for Lily's affair, painting her as this horrible person who abandoned her marriage for a rich man, Nathan was doing exactly the same thing. Well, minus the pregnancy part. I went home and told Henry about Nathan's affair, thinking it would help him see the situation more clearly. I really thought this information would make him understand that the situation wasn't as black and white as his family was making it out to be. I was wrong. Instead of acknowledging that his brother was equally at fault, Henry accused me of trying to deflect blame and tarnish Nathan's reputation. He said I was making up stories to justify what Lily did and to make myself look better. When I showed him the photos Rachel had sent me, he dismissed them as old photos that could have been taken when Nathan and Sarah were just friends. He even suggested that I might have orchestrated this whole thing to make Nathan look bad, that maybe I had asked Rachel to lie for me. When I pointed out how ridiculous that sounded, he stormed out of the house and went to his parents' place. His parents are even worse. When Henry told them about Nathan's affair, they called me immediately, screaming about how I was spreading lies about their poor son who was already suffering. They accused me of trying to destroy what was left of Nathan's reputation and threatened to expose me as a liar to everyone we know. After this reaction from Henry and his parents, I decided to tell Lily about Nathan's affair. I felt she had a right to know, especially given how everyone was villainizing her. When I called her, her reaction surprised me. She wasn't shocked at all. Lily confessed that she had known about Sarah for months. She had seen messages on Nathan's phone, noticed the lipstick stains on his shirts, and even caught them together once at a restaurant when Nathan was supposedly working late. She said that's partly why she didn't feel guilty about her relationship with Mark. She explained that she had initially started spending more time at work to avoid being home alone while Nathan was with Sarah. That's how she got closer to Mark. He would stay late too, and they started talking, first about work, then about their lives. She said Mark made her feel valued and heard at a time when Nathan was completely emotionally absent. This revelation has made everything more complicated. The family is now completely divided. Some cousins who initially sided with Nathan are now distancing themselves from him. A few family friends have reached out to apologize for how they treated me. But Henry and his parents are still firmly on Nathan's side. They're now claiming that even if Nathan did have an affair, which they still don't fully believe, it doesn't justify what Lily did. According to them, Nathan's affair was just sex while Lily destroyed the family by getting pregnant and leaving. The mental gymnastics they're doing to justify Nathan's behavior while condemning Lily's is astounding. I feel like I'm living in some kind of twisted alternate reality. I'm being blamed for a situation that was already messed up before I even got involved, and now I'm being accused of making up stories to defend myself. Henry still won't talk to me properly, and his family is now doubling down on their attacks, saying I'm trying to destroy Nathan's life by spreading rumors about him. The stress is starting to affect my health. I'm not sleeping well, I can barely eat, and I've had to take time off work because I can't focus. The worst part is that Henry sees me suffering but seems to care more about protecting his brother's reputation than supporting his wife. I'm starting to wonder if this marriage is even worth saving anymore. Update 2: After everything that's happened, I finally reached my breaking point this week. I discovered something that made me realize my marriage wasn't worth saving anymore. For the past several weeks, I had noticed Henry being very particular about where he left his phone, always keeping it face down and taking it with him everywhere, even to the bathroom. I didn't think much of it initially because I was dealing with so much already. Last night, I was cleaning our home office when I accidentally knocked over Henry's laptop bag. As I was picking up the scattered contents, I found a small voice recorder. Curious, I played it back and what I heard made my blood run cold. It was recordings of my conversations, with Lily, with Rachel, with my friends, and even my private phone calls with my mother where I was discussing the whole situation. I dug deeper and found dozens of recordings. Henry had been secretly recording me for weeks, trying to catch me admitting that I knew about Mark's intentions towards Lily when I recommended her for the job. He was even recording our arguments, editing them to make me sound unreasonable, and sending them to his family to prove that I was guilty. When Henry came home, I confronted him with the recorder. Instead of being ashamed or apologetic, he actually tried to justify it. He said his family needed evidence of my involvement in breaking up Nathan's marriage, and since I wouldn't confess, they had to find proof another way. He actually seemed proud of his little spy operation. That's when I finally snapped. All the frustration, anger, and hurt from the past months came pouring out. I told him exactly what I thought about his pathetic loyalty to his lying brother, his spineless behavior in letting his family abuse me, and his complete failure as a husband. I pointed out how hypocritical it was that they were all defending Nathan's year-long affair while condemning Lily for falling in love with someone else. Henry's response showed me exactly who he is. He said, brothers stick together no matter what, and that even if Nathan did cheat, it was different because he didn't get anyone pregnant or try to leave his family. Then he had the audacity to suggest that I should apologize to Nathan for exposing his affair. According to Henry, I should have kept quiet about Nathan's cheating because it would have ended naturally, and now I've made things worse. The final straw was when he said that if I really loved him, I would help protect his family's reputation by telling everyone I was mistaken about Nathan's affair. He actually expected me to lie to make his cheating brother look better. That's when I knew my marriage was over. I packed 2 suitcases with my essential things while Henry followed me around, alternating between angry accusations and pleading. When he realized I was serious about leaving, he called his parents. They showed up at our house within minutes, probably breaking several traffic laws to get there so quickly. The scene that followed was like something out of a bad movie. My mother-in-law was crying about how I was destroying another marriage, my father-in-law was threatening to tell everyone the truth about me, and Henry was standing there with this smug look, probably thinking his parents would convince me to stay. Instead of engaging with them, I calmly took off my wedding ring, placed it on the kitchen counter, and walked out. I checked into a hotel and immediately contacted a divorce lawyer. To my surprise, Lily had already sent me contact information for the lawyer she used, saying she had a feeling I might need it soon. The funny thing is, now Henry and his family are acting completely shocked. They are telling everyone that I'm overreacting and breaking up the family over nothing. My mother-in-law has been calling mutual friends crying about how I abandoned her son without any warning. They still don't see how their months of harassment, blame, and emotional abuse drove me to this point. Lily has been incredibly supportive through all this. She sent me all her evidence of Nathan's affair, emails, hotel receipts, photos, even screenshots of messages between Nathan and Sarah discussing their plans to continue their relationship even after he and Lily worked things out. She had kept everything as insurance in case Nathan tried to contest their divorce. She's offered to share it all, but honestly, I'm done trying to prove anything to people who are determined to believe what they want. I've blocked Henry and his entire family on all platforms. Some flying monkeys have tried to reach out, telling me I'm being too harsh and that marriage takes work, but I'm done working on a marriage where I'm the only one trying. My lawyer says the recordings actually work in my favor. They're evidence of emotional abuse and harassment. I might have lost my marriage, but I finally found my self-respect. Update 3: The dust has finally settled, and I can't believe how much my life has changed in just 3 months. The divorce was finalized last week, and I got a much better settlement than I expected. Those recordings Henry made turned out to be a gift. My lawyer used them to show the pattern of emotional abuse and harassment I endured. The judge was particularly disturbed by how Henry and his family had tried to force me to take responsibility for Lily's decisions and Nathan's affair. I also included evidence of all the harassing messages from my in-laws, the social media posts they made about me, and testimonies from friends who witnessed their behavior. The judge was not impressed by Henry's attempts to paint himself as the victim, especially when my lawyer presented proof of how he had orchestrated a campaign to pressure me into lying about Nathan's affair. Speaking of Nathan, his perfect victim image has completely crumbled. Sarah, his affair partner, apparently got tired of being the secret girlfriend and gave him an ultimatum: either he publicly acknowledged their relationship or she would leave. Nathan chose Sarah, which sent his parents into another meltdown. They're still trying to blame me somehow, claiming I poisoned the well by exposing his affair. Lily had her baby last week, a healthy baby girl. She and Mark got engaged, and they're planning a small wedding in a few months. She sent me a photo of the baby, and honestly, she looks happier than I've ever seen her. Mark has been incredibly supportive through everything, even helping her deal with the legal aspects of her divorce from Nathan. Henry tried to contact me one last time before the divorce was finalized. He showed up at my new apartment, saying he realized he had made a mistake and that he should have supported me instead of his family. But his apology was more about how he was suffering than any real understanding of what he did wrong. He actually said, "I know I messed up, but you have to understand how hard it was for me to see my brother hurting." I shut the door in his face. I've moved to a different city and started a new job at a competitor of my old company. The distance has given me perspective on how toxic that entire situation was. I realized I had spent years walking on eggshells around Henry's family, always trying to meet their expectations and keep the peace. Now that I'm away from their influence, I can see how manipulative and controlling they were. I've gone completely no contact with Henry and his family. I had to change my phone number because my former mother-in-law kept creating new accounts to contact me after I blocked her everywhere. Some mutual friends have tried to get me to reconcile with them, saying family is important and that everyone makes mistakes. I've cut those people off too. Anyone who thinks what they did was just a mistake doesn't need to be in my life. The irony of this whole situation isn't lost on me. I tried to help someone I considered a sister get a job when she needed one and somehow ended up being blamed for 2 failed marriages. But honestly, I'm happier now than I've been in years. My new job is going well, I'm making new friends who don't know or care about the drama, and I'm finally living life on my own terms. Lily and I are still close, though we don't see each other as often due to the distance. She's helping me plan a vacation, my first solo trip ever. Henry never liked the idea of me traveling without him, but now I can do whatever I want. Sometimes losing toxic people from your life is the best thing that can happen to you. It's like cutting off a limb that's got gangrene, painful but necessary for survival. I've learned that sometimes the people who claim to love you the most are the ones who will hurt you the worst, and that's okay. It's better to be alone than to be with people who only love you when you're serving their interests.